What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. So today I'm going to wrap the hood on my Jeep Gladiator in Hexis titanium chrome. This chrome is by far the nicest finish that I've ever seen. I want to give a big shout out to Zach and John over at Scorpion Coatings. I'm going to put a link to their website in the description below. They hooked up this roll of Hexis chrome even though it wasn't even in stock. I got it like a day all the way from the US. So awesome guys to deal with. Great service, expedited shipping, amazing. This chrome is by far my favorite chrome, but it is a little bit difficult to install because it is sticky, okay? We want adhesion and we want the film to actually adhere to the surface. It makes it challenging when we're doing large horizontal panels, horizontal going across, large flat panels like this because of the amount of tack that it has right off the bat. This is not like a slidable film. You can't just slide this around, and this is not something on the hood of a Jeep like this where I can almost barely reach it that you want to tackle on your own. On top of that, my hood is not mounted because I removed the hinges so that I can actually wrap under the hinges and get around really nicely. So the hinges are gone and all the side hinges are gone. It's only locked in at the front here sort of, and that's kind of it, like little latch in the front. Doesn't do a whole lot. So you're gonna see it shifting around a little bit. Most hoods, they're not going to do that, but this one in particular is going to do that. So I removed everything else off the surface, and I've also used one more product to make my life a lot easier. It's Vvivid Tack Reducer, okay? The tack reducer is going to help alleviate so much of that tackiness, that stickiness that it has on this film. Rest of the car, I don't really need it. Large, flat, horizontal panel like the hood, I'm gonna need it probably. It's gonna get challenging, especially right around here. It's like one of the hardest parts right around this corner right here. With the drop off and the curve forward, it gets a little bit challenging. So you're gonna see me do that, probably struggle a little bit. I'll get it done, I'm not worried about it. If I don't get it done, I grab a new piece and I try again. Sorry, you see a piece of hair. All right, so I thought it was a piece of hair, it's like a lint. So when I apply tack reducer, and tack reducer is this right here actually. It comes in a clear bottle and it's orange in its color. One bottle, I mean, 25 bucks or whatever. I'll put in the link in the description below. Lasts you like a year, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know, depending on how many hoods and roofs you're doing. It does help with stickier films. Any film for the most part. It's not gonna make it so that your film's not gonna stick at all. It probably reduces the tack. I mean, I'm just gonna throw a number out there, 30, maybe 40%. So you do not want this on your edges, okay? Keep it away from your edges. I've gone almost to the edge. I've gone about 3 inches away from the edge, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it does leave a haziness to the surface. This product is non-reactive, so I don't have to worry about something happening over time. I've done it on like multiple chrome hood wraps on my own car, personally. I've had it in Canada, had it down in the south, and everything seems to be fine always. It also makes it a little bit easier to remove actually, because this layer, it just stays underneath the wrap. So pretty easy to remove. On top of this today, I also have my logo on the side of the hood, which is going to get embossed. I did this already previously on the wrap before the satin black. Now I'm doing it with the chrome because the chrome actually looks way cooler. It shows way nicer. Other than that, I've masked off the fenders because they're already wrapped. So don't want anything adhering to the surface of the already wrapped panel because the chrome easily marks, okay, when it comes to stuff like that. You could laminate it and that makes it even thicker, okay? It's not that thin, this chrome. It's not all that easy to stretch and bend and that sort of stuff. So it's gonna resist you a lot. I've got my piece of film cut here. What I'm gonna do is end up laying it out. This hood, I'm able to do this in one piece. If I fail, I can do it in 2 pieces. I don't really want to, but you could. There isn't really a great body line, but I'd probably draw it somewhere off at the corner on each side and then do the flat part in the middle afterwards. So it'd be 3 pieces. Other than that, I think I'm missing anything? Don't think so. We're gonna get started. We're gonna plop this bad boy out on the hood, and my hood is nothing's magnetic, okay, on this car, or only the bed is, sorry. So I'm gonna try and position this. Yeah, so this film is 54 inches, right guys? Don't forget. I'm just gonna position this and I'm gonna peel off the corner down here just to hold it in the meantime. This does have a protective cap on it, which protects it. Mainly protection for shipping purposes. Don't want to let it drop, so let's hold on to it. It's a little bit easier to unroll the film like that, just the way I did it when you're doing this alone, especially when you're doing it alone. And before I do anything, I'm just gonna lock this in a little bit right here if I can. Nope, no magnets there. It's part of the fender. Thought maybe I could. But we're gonna lock that in right there. Just to the tape, I'm gonna have a walk around, have a look at it, make sure everything looks good before I finalize anything. Okay, we're looking good over on this side. So one more thing, I'm gonna trim off probably some of the front. Yeah, we have a lot of extra. I don't wanna have this much extra. It's just gonna be a headache for us, okay? You wanna have the right amount of film, which means not too much, not too little. So I'm gonna leave myself what I call a grab amount. Okay? This means that I can grab it comfortably. We can take our piece, I have a gazillion scraps already, we can toss it in the car. This is one of those cars that eats up a lot of film. And then we're gonna take our release liner. I recommend leaving the cap on while you remove the release liner. What I'm gonna talk about is what's special about this release liner is that it's plastic, you're gonna see it. Similar to PPF. This is the trick to getting the chrome so glossy and so pure that it has very minimal orange peel at all. So you can see it, looks very similar to PPF. Great idea, guys, Hexis. So this stuff ends up creating a lot of waste, unfortunately. Downside to that, but we're not installing 1,000 chrome wraps a day. Okay, so normally this is gonna be really, 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 really sticky, okay? It's not. Like, you could not do this if I didn't put Tack Reducer down. It wouldn't work. I could show you an example, but I don't even want to show you an example. Just trust me when I tell you that. Okay, so it's gonna be much more tacky. Yes, there is tack along the edges. I want that, but I don't want to slide the foam around too much either. But yeah, when it comes to doing this large flat surface, good luck, guys. You're gonna want that Tack Reducer. So I'm gonna pull out in as many directions as I can. Maybe lock it in a little bit here if I can. I'm glad I have this cap on it because, yeah, it is pretty scuffed, you know. So I have the cap on it right now. I can squeegee it. You're probably gonna wanna use a bit of solution. My go-to when it comes to that is Vvivid Shield Guard. Soap and water would probably do the job, but I like something a little bit more slick, to say the least. To put it simply, I suppose. Yeah, this is like, you don't even know how much easier the Tack Reducer made this. You can see it's grabbing on the edges pretty hard. This hood is giant. Probably lost my audio there for a second. The mic dropped. Let's just throw it in my pocket. All right. Yeah, this is a big hood and it's way up there. It's hard to reach. Let's move around here. And we're gonna tackle, I always tackle the furthest part that I have a hard time reaching. I go for that first, before the film actually starts to settle, you know? Because this film will just kind of settle and start grabbing. On top of that, when we're using the Tack Reducer, it's also helping to minimize the chance of marks happening when we're lifting it. So if you're not very careful with this film, you can get glue lines in it. But I do love the product as far as what it is and what it does. Let's get that corner up. Let's get some of this. It helps, so the fact that I'm holding it up right now, it helps, okay? It helps the air come out a lot easier. And that's why I do it, mainly why I do it. So I'll let this go under. All right. We've done all the hard to reach area. I'm going to remove the cap at this point before I go too far, because it's going to really inhibit me, and I don't want that. So I'm going to cut. It's a little bit tricky when you're doing this. I cut a corner off and then I tear it a little bit. You can score the actual cap. You're going to see what this is going to look like in a second. It's going to clear right up. If it doesn't already look clear enough as it is. This is, I'm excited to get this thing done. I knew that I was going to do chrome next, like for more of an official wrap, something to leave on a little bit longer and ride out, because I just like chrome. Not even like, I mean, if you want to draw attention to your business, this is what you use. But it can be a heavy investment. If anyone is looking to purchase any of this, email nav@ckwraps.com. He'll hook you up with a price. That's not just this color, that's any Hexis product. So that's our cap there. I'm going to grab a bit of Shield Guard. Running a little low means I'm going to have to get some more. And what we're going to do is we got to get this glassed out way smoother than it is. Okay. It's hard with the hood moving. It's really difficult with the hood moving. Don't need to use too much. Just something to add a little glide to the film. So, as I said, when we get closer to the edge, it's going to start grabbing more. What happens to this film when I lift it like that? Nothing. Nothing that I see. It holds up very well. Okay. Just trying to balance some things out here. Because I'm going to have to heat and stretch. Right around here. There we go. When we're heating and stretching this, it's different, okay? This is not normal. It's thicker, it takes a bit more time for it to heat up, and it's going to take more physical exertion. You really got to be careful with your heat because you will burn it also on top of that. Difficult, guys. It's not easy. Okay? pull these guys that way. Feeling pretty confident about this right now. Feeling good about it. Get rid of some of this. This is the hard part. I'm not quite happy with the first setup there. See what we can do. If we're putting our hands on the film, it's always on the exterior portion of the film, okay? Never, ever, ever put your fingers under where you're grabbing, or sorry, under where you're laying. It will leave finger marks. You can pop it up like that a little bit, that's cool, as long as you're quick with it. You're gonna see the hood shift again probably. Again, that's what makes it a little bit hard for me, is the fact that the hood is moving. That is probably good to squeegee. Good. That's the hard part. We're gonna cruise, we're gonna sail for the rest over here, and then I'll move over to the other side. Trust me, even for me, like I've been doing this for a long time, this is not easy stuff. Like this is a hard job to do. My hands over top. There we go. One more thing to keep in mind, the film can crack and rip and tear. Careful of that. I'm going to mist down my squeegee a little bit more. Let's just do the buffer side. Just toss that there. I'll finish up this side quickly and I'll be able to see the other side a little bit better. Some of this down, more symmetrical, perfect. I'm going to heat it slightly to add a bit more give when it comes to pulling down. Nice part about the Jeep is I can rest my heat gun anywhere I want. Tires are a good spot actually. I like the hand over top technique. It disperses the film a little bit nicer than using your hands underneath, especially when you're getting to an edge. What I recommend with this film, first of all, post-heating, super important. You can post-heat this film pretty easily. Actually, it does not burn that easily. So when it comes time to post-heat, you don't have to be too shy with it. Of course, it is chrome, so keep that in mind. You can destroy it, you can damage it. But as far as post-heating goes, it does post-heat really well. I have yet to damage it by post-heating the film. I mean, if this was Avery, for example, it would be, for me, harder. For me, though. I'm not huge on Avery chrome. I find that it's a little bit more rigid, not as pliable. I like the Hexis a lot. It just feels good. It suits me. And on top of that, I get a clearer finish with it. So I'm going to take the clearer finish any day, even if it was harder. So even if Avery was the easier one to install for me, I would still go with the Hexis. Right. All right, so I'll go over my embossing afterwards. I don't want you to get too bored over on the other side there, so I'm going to move over. Fix up that a little bit. There we go. Everything's hugging in really nicely. It's been sitting here for a while, so we're going to have to lift it. Get it back up. And I've got a spot right here. I haven't even squeegeed yet. So the fact that this is very sticky, the air release works great. I love how the air release works. Probably could have used a little more tack reducer. There we go. Perfect. Let's get that up. Let's get lean back on that one. A little higher there. A little more. There we go. Okay, you can see how I'm holding it up. We're going to get some of those air bubbles out right there. Make life easier. Bring this across slightly right here. And then it's going to give me a starting point. When you're doing this alone, you'll most likely get a glue line. Like, it's not like you're not going to get a glue line in this. Any film is subject to getting glue lines, especially when it's a little bit more sticky. But I mean, the film's finish is so clear. I'll take the glue line any day over like a hazy style mirror. So again, pulling back, expanding outwards. Try not to pull the whole hood off. That was a close one. All right, you saw that. That was good times. So I'm just gonna maybe push that back a little bit. There we go. Let's just make sure everything is good on this side. Yeah, we're good. Just want to make sure I didn't destroy anything. So again, everything's pulling across the edge in the front. Large air bubbles you can divide up into smaller ones. There isn't, like I said, there isn't a whole lot I can do right now as far as holding the hood down goes. Could have someone stand on it, sure, but we don't have anyone here. Doing this solo. What I'm going to do is restart the camera. Wanted to bring you in a little bit closer so you can see what's happening here. Plus the 30-minute timer on the camera was running out. So I've got to pull this across a little bit more. I got to fix up that spot. That's not a good spot right now. So. Cool. Try and balance is key, okay? Having areas that are not the same as others, this is going to be difficult because the hood is moving more for whatever reason this time than last time. I'm not sure why it's pulling up so much. It might stay right there. Okay, I'm just going to go for it. Yeah, you want to balance out your stretch and your tension over the largest area possible. Okay. It's tough. The tack reducer allowed me to push that bubble all the way down. It's nuts. All right, right here. Hinge over top. Oh, not enough. I'll go back a little bit further. There we go. So this is the hard part right here. And with the hood moving, it's not working in my favor. Not helping me. Whew. A little bit more to go. Like personally for me, what makes this come out cleaner than if I wasn't using tack reducer, this would be a disaster. I'm not even joking. It'd be a gazillion glue lines all over the place. It'd be tough. So you might be asking yourself, are glue lines common with Hexis as a product? No, it's just that this chrome is a bit more sticky than the rest of their films. No, I didn't even know that was going to turn on. It's just a compressor, sorry. It'll shut off in a minute. There we go. Almost. That in, creating triangles. All right. Okay, I got to go over all the edges, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to lock everything in, then we can do some cutting and trimming, and then we're done. I can't lift the hood up to show you on this one, but pretty much how you're going to lay the chrome on the hood by yourself. Let's fix up down here a little bit. Do some 3D stretching here. And then I'll show you the embossing. I'll show you how all that embossing looks. Let's get the film underneath here. And what I said about post heating, with this film, very important. You don't want to do this more than one time, trust me. Not for the amount of work that it takes and cost of material, okay? Material cost is not cheap on this stuff, guys. But with anything, you don't want to do it twice usually, so. Just applying heat and using my finger at the same time, pushing around the edge. Tends to be like one of my favorite ways to do it. Oh, film got stuck underneath quite far. Film got stuck underneath really far. All right. This is why I'm glad I masked off the fender. Just up here. Moved a little bit. All right, now I'm just embossing the logo, making it stand out a little nicer. You gotta add heat to sharpen out the edges. Do the other side. So if I get some swirl marks in the film, no big deal. We can polish it. Keep in mind it does have Shield Guard on it. It's not completely scratch free. On top of that, it's got scuffs in it from the buffer. No deep scratches, okay? That's a big difference. So no dust on the surface where it got scratched into the wrap. I'm gonna take you for a scroll or a tour along the embossing so you can see what that looks like, and then I'm pretty much gonna leave it as is. So right here, we can see the embossing. You can see the fine, really fine lines, and there they are. So some of it is Shield Guard, some of it is from the buffer. Those will go away though. And that's what the embossing looks like, okay? So that's pretty cool, right? I don't know, that's one of my favorite things at least. Finish is nice all the way through. For whatever you can see. There you can see there. The camera has a hard time adjusting when it comes to catching the chrome. There you go. So a lot of smears, I'll wipe it off, then it's done. Alright guys, I hope this video was informative and helpful. If it was, don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, don't forget the subscribe button. I'll do a couple more on this as far as the chrome goes, show you how it works in other ways. Again, this is actually very challenging. The hood is not easy, especially with it moving around, especially with the large piece of vinyl, and also with the panel being horizontal and flat. Made it tremendously easier. I'm telling you, like 45 minutes I just wrapped that with talking and whatever else. Now I just got to trim it, go over the edges, and I'm done. But yeah, 45 minutes to wrap that alone in chrome is pretty good. Doing it alone, again, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you think that you can, by all means, sort of how you do it right there. You might have a bit more of a different technique, all good. But yeah, use it. So again, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much. Take care.